What's up, everybody?
Welcome.
Wow, we're finally recording in person again. I think it's been since episode 3, 4? It's been forever. I'm glad I get to roast this guy in person today. I'm excited about it.
He's still mad though because I'm taller than him. So I just wanted to welcome you, hard-headed fans, from welcome to our show from me sitting on a blanket.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure you know that because I look taller than him and he's pissed about it. So
yeah,
it's just his ego, fans. We gotta fight this out. He doesn't know.
Classic Spinny. Got to make himself look better on this pod. What's new?
I always look better. All right. Now we got some cool Wolves news to start off the show with today. You want to tell us what it is, Bus?
Tim Conley, right? We signed him to president of basketball operations. 5-year, $40 million?
Who's we, Bus?
The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Thank you.
Yes. Very exciting signing. He was with the Nuggets, for those that don't know. And he's had pretty solid draft history. So I like this move by the Wolves a lot. And A-Rod and Mark Lore are very high on him. So I'm in for this new era with the Wolves. I'm excited. Let's see what he can do.
Ownership stake part of this deal. So that's
right.
a big reason that they got stuck him out of Denver. It's given a little bunch of money-making opportunities with ownership. So I think that's good. So hopefully, his draft history is ridiculously good. So let's keep it up. And let's find us.
Best pick being Jokic in the second round. Sheesh.
Murray all the way back to 7, Porter at 14, Beasley at 19.
More role player guys like that, like Beasley. There's a ton of those picks that he got in the 20s, late teens. Jared Vanderbilt. Yeah, list goes on and on. Go ahead and look that up if you want to see his draft history. It's pretty impressive to me, I think. Yeah. And out of the guys that were available to hire, he's definitely up there as one of the best. So, yeah, good hire by the Wolves.
Agreed.
Other bit of news, Pga Championship for us golf fans out there. I know Spinny hates golf. I'm not even that big of a golf fan either, but Justin Thomas got it done and won the Pga Championship. So shout out Justin Thomas.
Big comeback.
Yeah.
Ended in a playoff.
Mm-hmm. Very impressive showing by him. And yeah, so I guess that we're 3 in now, 2 in. U.S. Open already happened, didn't it? I'm asking the wrong guy.
I'm like,
Yep, there's one more to go. So, yeah, we'll see who can get the last one. But now into our actual topics here. Let's just start with NIL so we can argue a little bit because we seem to be on different sides here about this issue.
This is on the old fuddy-duddy side, and I'm on the correct side.
Spinny's on the rat side. So,
okay.
So, for those that don't know, the NIL, as it currently stands, allows coaches, I should say, to use NIL as a recruiting piece.
As they should be able to.
So, Nick Saban was not for that at all. He was like, he's been against it since the start.
By A&M.
Classic. So he's been against it for quite some time, and he said some comments about Jimbo Fisher, Deion Sanders, things along. He referenced them as people who did that under the table. So his main issue, Saban, is that this would eventually lead to just buying players, essentially. And I'm in complete agreement there, but this guy thinks it's okay. I think they need to tighten up the rules a little bit. They shouldn't be allowed to use NIL as a recruiting piece as it's meant for college athletes. So they're not college athletes yet. They haven't earned the right to make money off their name, image, and likeness since they haven't stepped foot on the college campus yet. So I think they need to tighten up the rules. But Spinny, what's your side of the argument here?
Okay, so if schools really do have better NIL abilities for their athletes, the athletes should know that. The big part of the NIL is marketing yourself. And if schools have the ability to give these kids more marketability based on their connections to businesses or whatever it may be, I think athletes should be able to know that up front and be able to benefit the most given their choice of school. So, yes, I do think that it is something that could be used and should be allowed to be used given that reason. Now, I understand the perspective of schools just being able to like buy players, but I think that there's a lot of guys who value winning and a lot of those type of things in college as well. So I think if you can present that side of the argument, it'll be just as good for a lot of players who know they'll still make NIL money no matter where they are. But for those that might not make as much NIL in other places, the ability to get told you for sure can do that here is beneficial to the players and makes sense.
I'm not completely against what you just said, but to have like full-fledged deals already in place for these guys, literally essentially just to get them on campus. Like that's basically cheating to me. That's bribing. That's like what's his face paying DeAndre Ayton $100,000 under the table. To me, there's no difference in that. And yeah, I get the marketing aspect of it, and I wouldn't necessarily be opposed if they could make some sort of restrictions. I don't know. Again, I'm not the guy that's going to.
Between those two things, though.
Right. I'm not the guy that's going to make this solution. That's why I don't work in the NCAA. But, well, I guess technically I do. I'm a college coach, but I don't work with the actual rules. I'm not copping out at all. This is a load of BS coming from Spinny's mouth.
Oh, no, it's
and
not.
Everyone else, especially, I'm sure most of you listeners are in agreement with Spinny because I know most of you people hate Alabama. So you're just using this as, we get to level the playing field now. Level the playing field.
Doesn't even address the argument. Just says we're Alabama haters. Classic Alabama fans.
Listen to what I'm saying. You guys seem to have these opinions because then you're for it because then college football is more balanced, more competitive.
Correct. Good job.
So essentially in the back of your head, you're doing this because you hate Alabama because of how good they are, how good Georgia is.
Because we like parity.
No.
Yes.
I've seen it so many times on Twitter. I've seen it on other social medias. I've heard it from friends like Spinny who tell me
it revolves around us hating Alabama. I roll, fans. I roll.
Spinny, when we initially talked about this off camera, you told me that you were happy that this is a thing just so that Alabama isn't as good anymore.
It's funny because I don't remember that, and you got no merch, so it's tough for you.
And
honestly.
I do remember you saying that the only reason Saban's saying this stuff is because everyone else is now going to be good.
That is why. That is exactly why.
See, that is a classic. That right there is a classic Alabama hater statement. You have nothing to back that up on.
I have Saban's ego to back that up on.
He's allowed to have an ego.
No, he is. I'd have an ego if I was him. That's how I know that that's the reason he's doing it, is because he doesn't want to lose it. That's how a guy with that ego, with that level of ego, that's how a guy would be. I'm not saying that's wrong. If I had 11 ships, I'd have an ego higher than Snoop Dogg riding a rocket. But the thing is that that is the reason. That is the reason. That is the reason that Saban's upset about it. He doesn't give a crap.
And I disagree.
The rule or whatever his BS excuses are.
That's
why.
You're not basing it off of anything. You're just assuming that because you hate him. And
I'm not assuming that because I hate him. I don't hate him.
You want to think the worst of him, and you think that his ego is why he said that, instead of maybe he just cares about college football and doesn't want it to become a system of just buying players. This is college we're talking about. College. This is not a professional league. This is college.
Okay, fans. I think you understand the fuddy-duddy side and the sensical side of this argument.
Sensical?
So I think
you did not just use the word sensical to describe your side.
I did. It's the most sensical. And the fans are going to know it. And I'm going to have everyone on my side, and you're going to use that BS excuse to get out of it. And that's tough.
It's not an excuse because all of you guys reference the Alabama being good or a leveling the playing field as it. If that is one of your reasons, get out of here. Get out of here. So, yeah, to wrap it up, I guess that's the situation. Obviously, there's a lot of back and forth going on between the coaches and obviously specifically Jimbo Fisher and Saban mostly going back and forth. But are you done?
I mean, you lost that segment so bad. You deserve that hanging out there like
I
that.
didn't lose that segment.
You took a fat L on that segment.
I'm gonna say this to all the listeners here. If you agree with Spinny,
that might have been my biggest win of any segment of the whole pod right there. Honestly,
if you agree with Spinny, I seriously question your integrity because it's not okay to do this, and you cannot just buy players. Recruit them legitly. Let's see how that works, huh? Recruit them legitly.
This is legitly. It is within the rules and completely legal.
And that's what I'm talking about. No integrity. It's in the rules. It's allowed, but it's not. Spinny. So frustrating.
I'm sorry, listeners. We know who's right in this situation, and your comments are going to tell us who's right, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm going to be loving it, and it's going to be great. So roast us up, roast anybody up, roast Saban up, please. He needs extra roasting, and roast this Alabama stand up too.
Kiss my rings.
Kiss
7 of them. 7 of them. I should have worn my Bama shirt. I can't believe I didn't even say that, but respect, Kobe.
What do you think of that, listeners? What do you think of my rings, listeners? That's what I want to know. I don't know your opinion on that. All right.
Speaking of Kobe, we're jumping into the NBA playoffs now. NBA playoffs. Which one do you want to start with, East or West? I know, but Kobe's an NBA player. He's in the playoffs, 5 rings. Come on. You think playoffs, you think legends like that. Fans agree with that statement.
Stretching. Okay.
You want to start with the East or West, Spinny? I'll let you choose.
I think we're going to start out West. Let's save the best for last.
I was going to say, because this series is turning pretty depressing at this point. 3-0 lead. Come on, Mavs. Spinny, I know we were just talking about this before we started recording, but I can't believe these role players are not hitting shots for the Mavs. It is so frustrating to me. Obviously, 0 10, Reggie Bullock, 0 7 from 3. You had some contested shots, but the majority are wide open because Luke is having everyone collapse, kicking to you. Oh my gosh, just the role players not doing anything. Luka's been a guy. Jaylen Brunson's been a guy. They're showing out still. I would say Dinwiddie has been struggling. So yeah, he needs to pick it up. Obviously, it's never been done, but I do think the Mavs could maybe come back, but it's wrapped up at this point. It's wrapped up. Probably maybe get one to avoid the straight sweep and get the gentleman sweep, but
tied in a bow, bus.
Tied in a bow, Spinny says. Yeah, I agree. It's over.
And that's from the man. I had to come on here and take my L's for this because I picked the Mavs.
You picked the Mavs.
So fat, giant. As much as L's Bus took in that last segment, I'm taking them in this one. So welcome to the L train for Spinny. The role players haven't hit shots, and even in the games when they did, like game 2, Brunson had 31, Bullock had 21, 6 for 10 from 3, actually doing decent. They couldn't guard anybody. Jordan Poole, 23, Steph Curry, 32, Kevon Looney. Like, are you kidding me?
Can't box them out, apparently.
Of Ayton and who the Mavs play in the first round?
Jazz.
Yeah, Gobert. Of Gobert and Ayton and Kevon Looney. Those 3 guys against the Mavs playing small. The only stinking one that can take advantage is Kevon Looney. What are we doing, Mavs? Like, are you like what? He just
outworked them. He seriously just outworked them.
It makes me so angry. So Kevon had 21, Wiggins had 16, and Porter had 11. They had so much, just everybody just dubbing the Mavs, and that was game 2. And games 1 and 3, the Mavs role players just weren't there, just couldn't get her done. And I'm gonna go on a tangent here for a minute because the one thing I will say is everyone is hyping Andrew Wiggins out so much from this series, and especially from game 3.
I was gonna say that game 3 is looking good though.
27, 11 and 3, 11 for 20.
If you've been watching the series, you obviously know that he guards Luka the entire game as well.
And here's the thing, and I said this at the time of the trade, I wish we had the pod then so I could immerse it to you, but that trade was better for the Warriors slightly. But the Wolves had to make the trade because Wiggins would never, ever, ever have developed this in Minnesota. The only thing that got him here is a Warriors culture and all the crap, and he's the 4, and he has no pressure, and he can just go ball whenever he needs to. And at certain times, he will. And they've said, hey, Wiggs, buddy, you buy in? We're going to the ship. And then they merged it. So, like, when you get that level of success, when he's buying in, he's obviously going to believe it. Minnesota, we could never, like, give that, hey, if you buy in, we get success, because it didn't happen. So given the Warriors championship pedigree and bringing Wiggins into that, that's the reason that you get these type of games out of him. And Wiggins could never do this, I still don't believe, as a 1, 2, or 3 on a team like that. I don't think Wiggins is that guy.
Yeah, I also think the offensive system of the Warriors, not even necessarily being surrounded by champs and stars, but just that system of 3-point shooting and driving and stuff like that. There's always open lanes for Wiggins, and he's taking advantage of it. And as you know, as we all know, he can fly. The dude can fly in the lane.
Funnies.
So you get a wide open kick out basically from Curry or whoever's driving, Jordan Poole to Wiggins. He either gets the open 3 or, they're flying at him. So then he gets that easy driving lane. So, and as we saw, dude absolutely murdered Luka last night, and somehow didn't it get overturned?
I don't know.
I thought I saw that I don't remember.
There was something weird that happened with it there, but sorry.
You can continue your point about Wiggins.
Oh, that was the end of my point about Wiggins. I just wanted to preface that all with the Warriors obviously are rolling. They're the better team. All shout outs to them. I just hate all the Wiggins love that's going around, because I am a big Wiggins hater. So I got to take a couple of my L's on that one too. Like I said, this is the L segment for me, but I still don't think outside of this system, Wiggs could do anything like this.
I'm obviously basically in complete agreement with you, but I do want to give him a little credit, because obviously still at the end of the day, 27-11 in the Western Conference Finals and guarding the best player, obviously Luka's still eating, but it's Luka. He's going to eat no matter what. And I think for the most part, Wiggins is doing a pretty solid job on him.
No, yeah. Definitely.
So I still want to give Wiggins a little credit, because he is definitely playing really well. But I do agree with your side saying, the system, the personnel, the team, all of that. If he wasn't on this team, he would not be looking like this. And I'm in complete agreement there. No questions asked. But yeah, I guess there's not really much else to say about this series. It sucks. I just wanted a competitive series. I really thought this could get pushed 7. That's why I picked Warriors in 7. But they're too deep. They have so many scoring options, and especially if Poole and Wiggins are out here giving you damn near 20 or 20 plus. Oh my gosh, that even takes a ton of pressure off Steph and Clay. Like this is a different Warriors team than the past championship teams. And are they the favorite now, Spinny? I don't know. It's tough because both East teams are looking good.
Yeah, this East series is going long. So I think you got to give the Warriors a little bit of an advantage, right? Because they're going to be the more rested team at the beginning of the series for sure. Because the Heat have had a decent playoffs, but if Boston wins this series, they've gone through 2.5 absolute battles to get to that point. And even the Heat have gone through a decent series with Philly, and then they will have gone through a battle with Boston. So I just think the battle testedness of the East teams and the physicality of the East teams, that's something that the Warriors haven't really seen yet. So we'll see what happens, especially if it ends up being Boston. They basically have a matchup for all those Warriors guards. And not a lot of teams can say that. And they can switch basically everything on all those.
I think the Heat match up well too, even with because the Heat do a lot of switching as well. And they always play small. Jimmy Butler and PJ are usually their 4s. Yeah. So I think, and PJ obviously is capable of switching on to guards and stuff. So yeah, I do like both matchups for the East teams, and it's just so tough for me to not consider the Warriors favorite given all their championship experience and how hot they are right now.
True.
And so
Warriors are probably favorite, right? Vegas, I don't know the Vegas odds right now, but after last night, I'm guessing the Warriors became the favorites to win the championship. But yeah, so let's talk about the East a bit, huh?
Let's talk a little more about the East. Let's just talk most recent game first. I was a little shocked that Jimmy Butler out the entire second half, and they still held on to the lead. I thought for sure the Celtics were going to be able to come back and pull it off. They did obviously come back, make it a little more interesting, but he ended up hanging on. And I think that veteran presence of Kyle Lowry, as I said last week, like they need him. I think getting him back for game 3, that was huge. If he wasn't in the lineup and then Butler went down, I think that would have been a disaster, and they would have ended up blowing that lead to the Celtics. But I am a little surprised that they held on.
Kyle Lowry, very CP3-ish role for the Heat.
Right.
He just, the entire second half, he just kept them calm, kept them in it, kept them steady. That's really – and after that first half lead, every little comeback the Celtics made, Kyle Lowry, steady. Same thing, same expression, same stuff in the timeouts. Just we're keeping us where we need to be. And they kept that lead, and yeah, they would not – I don't know, even with Jimmy, without Kyle Lowry, if they would have won that game. But Kyle Lowry really is that point guard presence that keeps him in it, that sometimes I worry Boston doesn't have. Because Smart can be it when he's on, but when he's not, and
he's not really primary ball handler either.
Yeah, and then for game 4, right, Smart's going to be out, so that's going to be an issue there. And Smart's not always that guy either. So I think Lowry's a huge addition, and but the Celtics are going to win game 4.
As we're recording now, the game started a little bit ago. So do you have a live update?
Yeah, we got 8-1 right now. 10-1 actually right now.
10-1 Celtics off to a hot start here in game 4.
And just so you listeners know, we have this recorded. We'll be going back and watching the game. We're not skipping out on it. So we'll be watching it. We watch all the games. We try to be our best to be educated in our own educated opinions about.
Well, we're diehard NBA fans, so we're not going to miss this game.
Yes, agreed.
But I was also a little disappointed that these games haven't been, too competitive. Celtics blew them out in game 2. Game 1 wasn't, that was pretty much a blowout towards the end. And then Celtics came back and
made it look closer than it was.
Right, exactly. So, and that was pretty much the situation in game 3 as well. I think it finished like 10-point spread, I think about. So
Celtics made it curious there for a while. They had cut it to like close to that 10 mark with around 8-9 minutes left. So then it was like, okay, are we going to get something here? But then it kind of BS'd around there for a while. But yeah, that wasn't a great ending either. We haven't got a lot of great conference finals games yet. So I'm hoping one of these ones, hopefully not the Celtics, because I'd rather just have them blowout win. But I would hopefully see some good games too at the same time. Maybe Mavs make a couple of these next couple close here in the West. Mavs could still win in 7, by the way, so my pick isn't officially wrong yet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're going off that logic, then the Warriors could still win in 7, and I'd be even more correct with that pick. But yeah, I'm just going to tune into this East Conference Finals the rest of the way. Obviously, the West, it's going to be wrapped up the next 2 games. But I don't know. Spinny, I'm going to give you props here quick. You said Jaylen Brown, and I was like, well, come on, let's be real. Jason Tatum's going to have to be the best player here if the Celtics are going to win. But so far through 3 games, we'll find out after tonight if it'll be through 4. But so far through 3, Jaylen Brown has definitely been the Eastern Conference MVP.
40
for the Celtics, at least.
40-9 last game, 14 for 14 from 2-point range.
Just ridiculous.
Absolutely awesome.
14 of 14?
Yep.
Bro.
3 for 9 from 3, so he missed 6 threes, 14 for 20 for 40 points. 20 shots, 40 points.
Insane.
Insane efficiency.
Basically the only Celtic that like truly showed up in game 3.
Jason Tatum had 10 points and was 3 for 14. So. Yep. So that's where we are, folks. And now, hopefully, the C's will come back and win this series. Just like I'm going to come out and win trivia.
No, I need to establish dominance again.
3 in a row for me today.
Get out of
Sort of Dylan winning trivia noise. Although maybe I should just say, "Oh, Bus is gonna win," because then I'll actually win.
Yeah.
That's how it goes so far.
So now that's what I've been trying to do here, low key.
Oh, reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology.
All right, Bus. You roll it out first for us, my guy.
Okay, your easy question. All three of my questions are NBA draft related because we're about to do the NBA mock draft, lottery only at least. But
Spoilers,
Bus.
I
like that spoil. It's a good spoiler. And let's be real, Spinny. If they're listening this far into the episode, they already saw the description of the episode that said NBA mock draft. Come on now, Spinny.
No spoilers, Bus. We hate spoilers in this pod.
Anyways, your easy question. Which college team has the most first-round picks in NBA history?
Did you do it to me? Or
Which team?
Can you give me a region?
It's an easy question. Which college team has the most first-round picks in NBA history? Not in one draft, overall.
Is it the shirt I should be wearing?
Yeah, you still haven't paid up on this Kansas bet.
I haven't yet.
Oh, this is atrocious. Fans, you need to start repping him a little more too, because he needs to start wearing a Kansas shirt when we record here. Is that your guess?
No, University of Kentucky final.
Correct. You had to give me props. We love it. We love it. Most first round picks. Do you know who 2 and 3 would be? Want to throw out a guess?
Kansas, Duke.
Kansas,
Duke, North Carolina.
Duke, North Carolina. Those are the next two. All right. What's my easy question?
Easy question. Speaking of my man, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown.
Through 3 games.
What pick was Jaylen Brown selected in the NBA draft?
3rd overall. Final answer.
Correct, because when he was drafted, I said, "What the beep, listeners?
Who is this?
Who is this mother beep?" Or
where you played a Cal, right?
Yeah, Cal.
We shouldn't roast that too much because Jaylen Brown was a top 3 high school prospect as well. So he just randomly chose Cal.
He was. Yep.
So, all right,
medium.
Your medium.
Sir.
We're tied 1-1. Since 2000, 21 drafts, about to be 22. How many first overall picks were foreign born since 2000? 21 drafts.
Okay, so we got Darko for sure. Right? This man on number 1. And then we got Ben Simmons. So that's 2. I'm going to go with 3. Final answer.
Incorrect. The answer is 7.
7.
By the way, Darko wasn't a first overall.
Second?
He was 2nd.
Same
Same draft as LeBron. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Name a couple more. DeAndre Ayton. He's from the Bahamas. Yeah, so there's guys like that. Andrew Wiggins from Canada. Anthony Bennett, also from Canada.
Canada.
Yao Ming.
Yao Ming was the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Toronto picked Andrew. How do you say his Barghini or whatever? You know what I'm talking about? Bargnani.
Yeah.
He was
Andrew
first overall
Bargnani.
pick. So yeah, that's probably not even 7, but those are some of the guys.
Okay. All right. All's for me. Who is this season's current NBA? During the NBA playoffs, who has led the playoffs in field goal percentage? Minimum 10 games played.
Minimum 10 games, field goal percentage leader.
Yep.
So at least the second round. Made it at least the second round. Oh, I feel like this is just going to be like a really random dude. I feel like there's no shot attempt minimum here. Do you remember when you looked up this question? Or
I didn't keep a shot attempt minimum because I had a game minimum. It was a 10 minutes per game minimum as well.
So you probably got a good amount of shots up at least.
10 minutes per game, minimum 10 games.
I'm gonna go feel like it was an Eastern player. I'm probably completely wrong already there, but God, it's gonna be a random person. As I know, I'm gonna. I want to pick Giannis, but I know I just can't be Giannis. If this is a medium question, then it can't be Giannis. Who dunks a lot? I wish we had. Sometime we should do a live segment so I could phone a friend in the audience and be like, "Hey, fan, what's the answer?"
I'm down.
I'd be down. If you guys are down, comment below. Whenever you want to calm me down, you can.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bang.
Dwight Powell. Final answer.
Wrong. JaVale McGee.
JaVale. I knew how to be dunker only, so
Yep.
that's why I just threw out a guy who's still playing. I probably should have picked an already eliminated player, but oh well.
JaVale McGee.
Wow, we're still tied going into the hard round, which is usually not good. We might take a tie this week, which I'll take that. I will accept that based on Spinny's
I'll keep
last
that
couple
lead.
weeks.
I'll keep that career.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, as I mentioned not that long ago, Deandre Ayton was the second. Well, I didn't say second, but he was the second player drafted first overall, born in the Bahamas.
No, there was not a number.
Who was the first player to be drafted first overall from the Bahamas? That's why it's a hard question.
Lifetime?
Not in your lifetime, no.
No, do I know this player?
You better know this player.
Okay. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, final answer.
The answer is 1978 first round pick, Gophers' own Michael Thompson, Clay's dad.
Michael Thompson went number 1 overall?
Michael Thompson went number 1 overall in 1978.
God.
Played for the Gophers. Michael Thompson was born in the Bahamas. So, yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Sheesh. Yeah, we're definitely going to end in a tie unless
I'm going to whip
Bus can tell me what college Max Strus went to.
Oh, my gosh. They said this. I forgot. They actually said this on TV. I remember them saying, "Oh, yeah, Max Strus went to blah, blah, blah." But what was it? Max Strus. Man, he's been balling for the Heat so far. This guy just straight up took Duncan Robinson's spot. It's kind of funny, honestly. But Duncan's on the bench getting a bag, so I don't think he really cares.
No. Rolling in it.
I think I have a really good guess, and it might be it, and you will get so pissed that it's actually it. I'm going to go Toledo. Final answer. No! For some reason, I thought it was Toledo.
I'll give you another guess. Not to get it right, but I just want to see if you know.
Was someone else in one of these series?
It's a Big East school.
Is one of... I swear, like, someone in one of these series is from Toledo. I don't know where I got Toledo from then. A Big East school.
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh my God, I'm so mad because they literally said this, so I should still know it, but I don't. Let's just go St. John's.
DePaul.
Oh yeah, DePaul. No. Wow, tie. That means Spinny is still beating me in all-time standings. Man, I need to step up my game. After this episode, I'm just gonna start reading trivia, sports facts. I'm gonna get going here, but I mean, as you see from the questions we come up with, we just come up with the most random ones ever.
At least you know, sometimes you can get them. Sometimes you're smart enough to know Secretariat.
Oh my God, don't roast me for that one.
All right. So now that trivia's done, we get to see a little way too stinking early.
Look at that NBA fail of a parentheses by me on Gonzaga down there.
Oh, Bus.
Ew.
Gosh darn it, Bus. Why do you gotta do that?
L formatting error on my part. Orlando Magic won the lottery. First pick here. They have a lot of young key players already. I feel like these guys listed here are part of their future going forward, at least in my eyes. Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, and Wendell Carter Jr. As you YouTube watchers can see, Spinny and I are both agreement with Chet Holmgren here. My reasoning, when I saw Magic, I initially thought Jabari, just because I do personally feel like Jabari fits better with their system. But obviously, Chet, he's not big. He's pretty skinny. Obviously, something he gets roasted for, but he could be the 4 or 5. I think this guy is going to be a stud. I still have a lot of faith in Chet Holmgren. And if you're the Magic, I just feel like you have to pair Chet Holmgren and Jalen Suggs. They literally played high school basketball together. They're like best friends. You know what I mean? So that's my main reasoning for picking Chet. I just don't think when you just picked Jalen Suggs last year, you're still invested in him, in the future. Why not pair him up with his high school teammate? Seems like a good move to me.
I love the Minnesota hype here, getting both these mini guys back together, but that's not why I picked it. There's been a lot of rumors that Chet's the guy the Magic like, the guy they want to go. They want to take that high risk, high reward situation. Hopefully he's a star, and then with all the rest of the guards and potential pieces they got, they could really have something, especially in the defensive end. So I think that's the move there with Chet. It just is the vibe it's seeming from the talk going around that the Magic are the Chet people. So, and if Chet won, then
and we're in agreement.
Again, another agreement. OKC here. I just love the shy, giddy Jabari combo. Jabari is that big shooter, catching passes from Josh and Alexander and just balling. He just fits that so perfectly. But I think these guys are the 1-2. I really do. Much as there's a lot of people out there high on Paulo, and I can see that from a playmaking perspective. But these first 2 picks don't really need any playmakers. So I think if you had more of a top 2 that were in need of playmakers, Paulo could very, very easily go in these top 2. I just think fit-wise, playmaking is not something necessarily stressed given the guard heaviness of these two first picking teams. So that's why I think it's going to be hard for Paulo or Ivy to sneak into there.
Yep, I agree there. And yeah, I'm with you with Jabari and Chet being the top 2. In my eyes, those are the top 2. So the only other person I think would go 1 is Jabari. And so I for sure have those 2 going top 2, regardless of who's picked 1. And I do like even Chet. I think he would fit in well with the Thunder. So I like Jabari or Chet going here and giving them a little court spreading. Both these guys can shoot threes, give more driving lanes for Giddey and Shy. And yeah, that's a nice little core going forward for the Thunder. Third pick, Houston Rockets. Again, an agreement. Can't really deny the top 3, in my opinion. Paulo Banchero, obviously, I think he would fit in well with the Rockets and Jalen Green especially. And I like that duo. I think Paul and Jalen Green, they could light it up in a couple of years. Obviously, they're still going to be terrible next year, but why not? You got Paulo and Jalen Green just essentially doing all the work for you. And if you end up being good, then sweet. If not, you get another top pick next year to build around them. So,
oh yeah, and they're not going to be good. They're definitely going to be bad, and they're going to have another top pick, and that's what they're going to need. But I like the playmaking of Paul. Jalen Green can hopefully develop more of a shooting role as well, so they can kind of mix up the guy with the ball in his hands there. But I like the Banchero and Green pick and roll as well. So I think there's a lot of options here, and it's a great fit.
Sacramento Kings, 4th pick. They obviously got De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and Davion Mitchell was their first-round pick last year. I'm going A.J. Griffin from Duke because this is my main reasoning here. Sacramento Kings, by trading Tyrese Halliburton, have made it clear that they are a win-now team. At least they view themselves as that. I'm not saying they are. But, yeah, trading Tyrese for Sabonis, that is clear that that's what they are or how they view themselves. And it's clear also that they are running with De'Aaron Fox. So a lot of you are probably shocked, especially YouTube viewers here, that Spinny and I still haven't thrown Jaden Ivey out here. I think that's just more with fit. I don't think you would pick Jaden Ivey when you already made it clear that you're running with De'Aaron Fox. That's 2 similar style of guys. So I'm going with A.J. Griffin because that seems to be like a win-now move. You get a 3-and-D guy that can immediately come in, start.
Okay.
What do you mean? He shot
3. The 3 part. The D part, me.
Did you watch Duke? He was by far the best defender.
Yeah, but I worry about his foot speed in the NBA. His
I don't at all.
side on guards. A.J. Griffin, not as good of a defender as we think.
He is. He's very athletic. Yes, he is. He's a very athletic guy. And I know most of the listeners who agree with me, since most of the listeners are gross Duke fans. But 3-and-D guy, I think he's going to come in and he can make an impact right away. Again, I don't think this even pushes the Kings in the playoffs or anything crazy. But given that they seem to be in win now mode, so I think they're going to go a guy that can fit in alongside De'Aaron Fox. They don't need another ball handler, given they have Fox and Mitchell already. So that's why I'm going to run with A.J. Griffin.
Agreed. I can see that perspective. I don't think Griffin's a good defender, by the way. I think the metrics and the stats back that up. I didn't bring those for you. I should have. I honestly forgot my notes on the way down, so I missed the A.J. Griffin stats. But look him up. His defensive metrics, not good. Shaedon Sharpe, I think the reason we're going here is just the highest shooting potential. And you want to guard next to Fox, who's 6'6", decently tall there, and can shoot the lights out the ball. And I think that's what you're looking for here with Sharpe. So I think that fits well next to Fox.
So exact reasons you just said for Shaedon Sharpe is why I picked them to go to the Detroit Pistons. I think obviously Cunningham's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. And as Saddiq Bey obviously showed a lot of promise last year, especially towards the end of the year. So to have Shaedon Sharpe and Saddiq Bey off ball, those are two great wing attackers for them and shooters. And then you got Cade Cunningham being, the all-around guy, the playmaking, able to shoot, all of that. So I think Shaedon Sharpe would fit in pretty well with Cunningham and the Pistons.
Yeah, and I went Keegan Murray here. I'm not a huge Keegan Murray fan myself. I think the Pistons are going to probably mess this pick up because they think that Ivy and Cunningham can't necessarily play together either. They're worried about the shooting ability of Ivy. But so I think they might slide Murray there, try to get a playmaking scorer, or more of a scorer, less of a playmaker, I mean. But I think that they should pick Ivy because an Ivy Cunningham backcourt would be scary just from an athleticism perspective.
Agree. Going in our sixth pick, we're in agreement. We don't think Jaden Ivey can fall any farther in here, and we do like the pairing with Tyrese Halliburton. He can play off ball with Tyrese being such a great playmaker and focus more on scoring and along those lines. That would help the Pacers. Obviously, Pacers are in a rebuild, and the reason why we put Tyrese as only key player is because Brogdon, Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, all their other key players have already been in trade talks for how long. So I don't expect any of those three. Well, for sure, someone's getting traded on the Pacers. It might not be all three of them, but
someone's not coming back.
Yeah, I definitely don't expect all three of those guys to come back. So I think Jaden Ivey slides in well here, pretty well with Tyrese. And I do want to mention, though, listeners, because, again, you guys are probably thinking Spinny and I are probably crazy for dropping Jaden Ivey to 6. And at least that's what I think. I've even felt crazy doing that. I think Jaden Ivey is the fourth best prospect. Fit-wise, I didn't see it. So I had to drop him. And I also think Shaedon Sharpe is the fifth best player. So I had him going a little later than one pick later than Spinny. But those would be my top 5 prospects.
Yeah, I think those top 4 are far and away above. And I would just take best player if I was an NBA team in this case, even if it didn't fit, just with the talent level. I think Jaden Ivey could display on his top end. But I think NBA teams draft too much for fit sometimes. And this would be this case scenario. So that's why I had Ivy dropping.
7th pick, Portland Trailblazers. Here's where I had Keegan Murray sliding in. I think he'd, 3-point shooting forward. He could play the 3 there and play alongside Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons very well. I'm with Spinny here. I'm not very high on Keegan Murray. But this pick here, given that he's still available for me, makes complete sense. And I do think Keegan Murray has potential to be like a Tobias Harris type player in the league, maybe. But I would say that's his peak. I can't picture being any better. And, maybe he proves me wrong. But I think this would be a solid fit, at least for the Blazers.
No, yeah, I definitely think this could be that could be a solid fit for the Blazers. I went with Benedict, the guard forward from Arizona. He's 6'6", another lanky, longer type of guy. I think you could play him at the 3, Lillard, Simons, and
I think you can too.
And I think that would work wonderfully.
He's athletic enough.
So I think that's more of what I was looking at there on that one. was just the matchup ability of the Trailblazers and another more shooter defensive guy.
I like it. Spinny, you want to give the updated score of this first quarter? I'm seeing it on my phone. Ew, what is going on with the Heat?
Yeah, first quarter final of I can't even pull it up. It's sketching out of me.
29-11.
29-11.
Wow. Again, we're not watching, obviously, but pathetic start here by the Heat. So Spinny, looks like Spinny's take of Celtics capturing game 4 here is off to the right start. So good for you. Pelicans, back to this mock draft. They obviously have a lot of pieces. We'll see if they keep Zion, obviously, with the random rumors we've seen throughout the year and stuff. So Zion, CJ, and Ingram, tons of guys already made the playoffs. They're definitely a win-now team. Is that why you picked AJ Griffin?
Yeah, because I think he definitely, despite his defensive liabilities, I do think he can make impact offensively right away, and that's something they need and are looking for. And
here I'm going Benedict. I think he's athletic guard, as we just said, and I think he would fit in the backcourt nicely with CJ. I think CJ is a pretty solid playmaker, and he seems to be – I like him at the point guard. He was doing really well, I thought, for the Pelicans when he ran point guard. So I think they could start CJ at 1 and Benedict at 2. I don't see why not. Ingram 3 and Zion 4. I think that would be a nice little fit for them. And so that's why I picked Benedict. He'd be a nice win-now piece for them for sure. Spurs, you never really know. They're like, Are they rebuilding? Are they not? Popovich just, you don't know with the Spurs because they're always in contention because Popovich is just a god.
I love how he puts Keldon Johnson on this list.
Keldon Johnson. Oh my gosh. This guy's a hater. He almost averaged 17 points a game. You want me not to put him on this list? Oh my gosh. He was the second leading scorer behind DeJounte Murray. And he's 22 years old. This guy.
No, I just think Keldon Johnson is not necessarily deserving of the key player's role yet, but I do like him. I'm not a hater. I just like making fun of this rat.
I put him on there because Kentucky.
But this Baylor kid, I think this is a perfect type of Spurs pick, kind of out there under the radar, but could have a huge upside. We just don't exactly know what we're getting. Something that Pop loves bringing in and
great metrics
with. Great metrics.
6'9", long wingspan. As we saw at Baylor, great defender.
Yeah.
He definitely has got the defense. So if he just continues to prove his three-point shot, this guy will be in the league for a long time. Again, we don't know his ceiling. We don't know how good he could get. But, I mean, this late in the – not late, but 9th pick, this is the type of player you're trying to pick here, a guy that could end up being a monster, but at least has a solid floor. So I'm in agreement with you there, Jeremy. Sochan? I don't know. Sorry, fans. I don't know. Washington Wizards. Another team that I would imagine is going to be win now, given, Kuzma, Beal, Porzingis. I feel like that's a win now roster, right? So I'm going Ty Washington, playmaking point guard. That would slide in very well there. He'd be the 1, Beal 2. I like that fit there a lot. I think Ty has solid, at least floor potential. I don't know how good he's going to be. His three-point shot is kind of concerning right now, and that's like the biggest question for him and why he dropped to about 10 for me. And I think he'll probably go in that 9 to 14 range. I'm for sure he's a lock at late lottery. But if he can improve his three-point shooting, he could become a really good player in the league. But he at least will be a solid playmaking point guard for a lot of years in the NBA. I think at least.
And I think the Wizards are kind of knowing that they're never going to win with exactly what they got, so they're just going big later upside with Josh Minott. All y'all are probably saying, there was a third big at Memphis? Yeah, Duren and Imani Bates. But yes, Minott had a huge role in their little couple tournament games they had. And I think he has a huge upside athletic-wise, especially. And I think the Wizards just take a little bit of a chance here, given that I think this adoration of Beal and Porzingis and Kuzma, I think we know this is not championship worthy, so we're trying to load up for what we can get later on.
I mean, I still wouldn't even be surprised if they end up moving any of these three players. They might blow it up completely and say, yeah, we're going to just rebuild and trade Bradley Beal. So be on the lookout for the Wizards make some moves that would not surprise me this offseason at all. New York Knicks. Classic New York pick here for me. They're going to pick the foreign player. This is probably the top foreign prospect, Nikki Jovich. Great 6'10" forward. He can shoot the lights out, I'm not going to lie. And he's got solid potential. He's 19 years old. But this has obviously been the mold for the Knicks in at least our lifetime. They always take the foreign gambles here. So this would not surprise me whatsoever. And especially with the 11th pick in not a very deep class, at least in my eyes, star potential, in that regard. So yeah, I feel like they're just going to pick this guy just because of what their draft history is like up to this point.
Agreed. I think that makes sense. I just went Washington. I think they could be trying to get back to the playoffs more for numbers and stuff, and hopefully given
I like that fit too.
A point guard that you could maybe play Donovan Mitchell with. So
Spinny and I were talking before this pod too. We were in agreement that we don't think Julius Randle will play another game as a Knick. We definitely think he's getting moved this offseason.
Unless they make the move for Mitchell, then you almost have to keep Randle. But
yeah, if you could pair up Mitchell with RJ Barrett and Randle, that's a nice little three.
Yeah. So we'll see.
If they get Mitchell, though, that 11th pick's definitely gone for sure. Thunder back on the board again, 12th pick. I hope they're probably going to get good given the ridiculous amount of first-round picks they have in these upcoming years.
Sam Presti, stud.
Yeah.
Absolute goodness.
Stud.
Just awesome.
So I kind of like this Tari Eason fit here. He is just he's got the grit and motor and everything along those lines like a Montrezl Harrell. Just absolutely just works his ass off all the time when he's on the floor. And given that I had Chet coming in here, I think he could slide in pretty well at the 4. And he's definitely capable of guarding. He's a very versatile defender, and that's why he was very good on LSU. That's why a lot of draft analysts are pretty high on him to slide in this late lottery, is because his versatility on the defensive end. So I like this potential fit here with the Thunder, but Dyson Daniels, I kind of like that pick too. What do you got on Dyson?
Just a sniper, just an absolute sniper. And so I think that's just what you want with your playmaking guards that you got. Just add a guy that could come in and just absolutely drain the crap out of the 3. So I think it's just a classic Sam Presti pick here and what they're going to go with. Yeah,
and that's also Tari Eason reasoning too. He's a quality 3-point shooter as well, 3-and-D guy. That'd be a nice little fit there. LaMelo Ball, obviously, essentially the only key player on the Hornets here at 13th pick because previously mentioned as for the Pacers, all the other key players are probably going to be traded, or at least in trade rumors, Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward especially. So I don't know what the hell the Hornets are going to do this offseason. I have no idea. They're on the edge of the playoffs. They don't seem to be able to make it. I don't know. I feel like they're going to blow some things up here. Obviously, they're going to keep LaMelo Ball, no doubt about it, which is why I picked Mark Williams here at 13. I like the pick and roll with Mark Williams and LaMelo. I like that. I think Mark Williams could potentially become a freak in the NBA. His metrics were ridiculous. Freak as in, okay, let me rephrase this. Not like a star, but he reminds me, he could be a way more athletic version of Clint Capella.
Okay.
A guy that just gets, and even Capella, as we saw with the Rockets, he was like, there's games where he can be pretty dominant in that pick and roll. So I like Mark Williams' metrics, just insane wingspan, 7'7" or something like that. He's 7'1" height-wise. He had like 5% body fat or something stupid like that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, 240-some pounds and only 5% body fat. Yeah, so I think this guy with that athleticism has potential to just be an athletic freak in the NBA. And you throw him a pick-and-roll situation with Melo, that would be good.
Yeah. I went Wesley here, Blake from the guard from Notre Dame. Again, I think more of a project with high upside, something that the Hornets need given their mid situation. They're just shooting for a guy here in this mid lottery or late lottery to try to hopefully make an impact.
And our last pick we will discuss, 14th pick, Cleveland Cavs. I have no idea which direction they're going to go at all. But looking at our picks here, I think both of them kind of make sense given their personnel. I think Lowry Markkanen, K Love, why am I drawing a blank?
Really?
Karis LeVert. There we go.
You're gonna forget probably the best player, or the least highest potential player.
What?
Mobley, come on.
Oh yeah, I didn't even put Mobley on here.
Sheesh. Fail from boss. But anyways, I think versatile wing defending guard is something we could go here, and I think that was my thing with Kendall Brown. I think that fits here. The Cavs might have something crazy though, foreign stash or something. Something like that here as we get to the last pick of the lottery.
Ousmane Dieng, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
He's been climbing up the ladders a little bit. That could be a guy that they take a shot on here. I like that reasoning. That's why I went with Malachi Branham. He's another 3-and-D guy. He career 41% shooter for Ohio State, and he really started to pour it on at the end of the year scoring-wise. He was almost outscoring E.J. Liddell almost every time. So E.J. Liddell, I think he's going to fall late first round, just given his age. And same reasoning, obviously, as you said, for Kendall Brown. 3-and-D, I think that's just kind of what they want. They want a wing here. Are they going to trade Sexton? What do you think about that?
Probably. I could see Sexton in this pick being packaged for something or something in that.
They could get something good there. I feel like that's a nice little combo.
But we'll see.
Yeah, but we will see. That is all we got for the mock draft, and that's all we got, actually, for our content today. A little short episode for you guys. Still about to hit an hour, but given our last, how many, 5-6 episodes, I think everyone's been at least an hour and a half. So
yeah, we this was just the content for the week, and we didn't want to drag you out with anything else. So we're gonna jump to questions and
answers.
Let's get it.
Q&A.
All right. Shout out, kind of Forbrook, old guest of ours, all geezer like. He sent us some Q&A questions for the week related to Dynasty Fantasy Football. We are in a couple leagues there. So I'm just going to shoot Bus some questions. He's going to give me some reasoning. I'm going to tell him why he's an idiot. Okay. Dynasty Football, you get them for their career, right? Dynasty Football, you draft a team, you keep that whole team. You're trading it with other teams in your league, okay? So this is like a career arc, essentially career arc fantasy-based question from this second. Lamar or Kyler Murray?
Lamar, Kyler Murray. Who would I rather have? I'm giving slight edge to Lamar.
Yep, agreed. Lamar, better rushing, maybe even a slight less average to get hurt. Definitely better team with a more well run.
I just like that fantasy potential with that rushing for sure.
Russ or Stafford?
Russ or Stafford. This one's tougher for me. Wow. I think I'm still going to just stick with Russ. I think he's been better throughout his career up to this point, so I'm just going to stick with Russ. And I like Denver. I like the situation in Denver. So.
Longer potential, but I think Stafford's next 3 years are much better. Chase or Jefferson?
Good point. Chase or Jefferson? You know this answer. I'm just going to stick with Jefferson. I got to go.
See, that's where you're wrong. You're pairing Chase with Burrow. You have Jefferson with Cousins or whoever. The way more randomness of the quarterback that's going to come there. And the Chase and Burrow combo means that Chase is definitely a higher take there on the fantasy rankings. Fantasy rankings, not fanship.
Jefferson's
a better receiver. Jefferson's a better receiver. Chase, better fantasy option.
Jefferson had more fantasy points this year, just for our listeners out there.
Chase was a rookie. So
second-year player who had 1,600 plus yards and 10 touchdowns.
All right, Devontae or Tyreek?
You answer first. I don't.
Tyreek, slight. Year younger. I think given if Mike McDaniel's offense is explosive and he reaches the potential they want him to in Miami, Tyreek Hill will have that Deebo Samuel role and is going to go absolutely crazy. Doesn't exactly matter how good of a thrower Tua is. But I think if that doesn't exactly pan out, Derek Carr is the less risky of a guess given him and Carr's
safer floor.
Yeah, safer floor there.
That one I think is the biggest toss up yet. All of these are toss ups, but I feel like that one's tough. But I'm giving the slight edge to Tyreek for the exact same reasons you said.
Dalvin or Nick Chubb?
Dalvin, Nick Chubb. Another situation. I'm rocking with Dalvin. I think, especially in our new offense. That's also why I picked Jefferson, because he's going to be the focus like Cooper Kupp was. So I really like that potential. And I saw that they're going to involve Dalvin a lot more in the receiving game, which obviously helps his fantasy outlook. And Chubb, no receiving whatsoever.
Agreed. That makes sense. I'm going to go in Chubb, just given I think Dalvin's only got two good years left, and then he's going to be on the out. So I'm taking Chubb's 4 years and it's over Dalvin's 2 prime-wise.
This guy didn't pick either Vikings player. Roast him in the comments right now. This is unacceptable.
You got to be realistic. I'm not a homer. I'm being
These
honest.
are realistic. Dalvin Cook is way better than Nick Chubb.
He is
way better.
He is better. Chubb's better fantasy value. Kelsey or Kittle?
I'm gonna go Kittle. Just the age. What he's got like 3-4 years younger than Kelsey. Kelsey's like 32 and Kittle's only 28, I believe. So I'm gonna go age there as being my main reason.
Okay, I'm going Kelsey. Just solid production, and Kelsey's the one they committed to in Kansas City. So I think the Kelsey Mahomes dynamic is going to be happening for a long time.
How long do you think he's going to play, given he's already 32? He's probably got at least 5 more years. Yeah.
I'm taking Kelsey's 5 years, even if the last 2 are a little more sketchy.
Yeah. I'm kind of sketchy even picking Kittle, just given his injury history. But
exactly. Kelsey not as much injury history.
I'm rocking with it. I think Trey Lance could be solid. So
all right, I respect it.
Those are good. Those are good ones.
Good.
Connor's come up with those off the top of his head.
I don't know.
Or you like saw those in an article or what?
Connor's that guy, that fantasy guy. I have a little birdie that told me we might have a fantasy basketball Q&A next week. So listen up if you're a fantasy listener.
We're talking fantasy basketball. I'm the only one answering those questions.
Shut up, this guy.
4 leagues this past year, 3 ships.
Bus is just mad that Bus is just deflecting because he finally got his first baseball win against me in like 3 years this week. So
3 out of 4 fantasy basketball ships this year. Football, I won 3 as well, so we don't want to listen to this guy.
Ask anyone from my hometown league. Ask. Sorry, listeners, mid sneeze and that. Holy cow!
What a way to end the episode.
Woo! Nice little snaz at the end. But anyone from my hometown league, ask them how good I am at fantasy football, and then they'll give you the answer. So shout out to them. Shout out to all the people in my fantasy leagues. I love you unless you don't check your lineup, and then you're a rat, especially when you're playing this guy. So check your fantasy lineups, folks. As Bob Barker would say, spay and neuter your animals, and have a wonderful night.
See y'all next week.